Correct. Brought to you by us, fans like you, but mostly us.
In a dark corner of the world, three men will work together to bring you a podcast like no other. This is Fanatically Correct, where the fans, the geeks, and the nerds are always correct. With your host, M.S.K, Yo Peace, and Omega.
So, yeah, I'm your host, Omega,
M.S.K.
and this is Fanatically Correct. A quick, nice, short review.
It's going to be pretty quick because I don't know how we're going to do this without spoilers.
Yeah, it's going to be hard, but it's an opening night, just a base reaction review of Avengers Endgame, spoiler-free. In other words, if you have not seen it yet, it's going to be safe to listen to this. If we slip up, you won't hear it. M.S.K will edit it out.
Yeah. If not, then we're screwed. But yeah.
If not, we'll put something in the text. But no, this is going to be a spoiler-free one. Yo Peace has yet to see it. We're going to give him a chance to see it. We're all going to see it a second time, most likely, within the next couple of days. And then we'll give a full, spoiler-full review for all those who did get a chance to see it within the first week and just want to start hearing theories and explanations or takes or opinions or whatnot. So for the most part,
this will be just like an initial reaction.
Pretty much. I'm just going to say one thing. This is not a spoiler at all. I tried to get a hold of M.S.K. He's one of my many friends who has a kid and had to get a babysitter, and it's and also will help because it will get the disappointment out of the way because I felt a lot of disappointment from this. There is no post credit scene.
He's not kidding.
Whoever's
listening to this and thinking that he's joking, no. He's not kidding. Yeah. There's nothing.
And I never do that with that. I always tweet or Instagram or Facebook. I always put that's my initial thing when a movie does or does not have post credits because I always on my first viewing, unless someone I trust tells me otherwise, sit through it and do the work for you. And here both M.S.K and myself, so he's verifying it. There is no post credit. I would go ahead and watch the initial credits. There's some cool like graphics
until like the middle of the credits. You could
see. Once you get to this basic scroll, just go ahead, go home, get to your babysitter, or if you got to work or whatever, just do it. You're good to go. It's nothing's happening.
Nothing.
I don't know.
That's I don't know if we're trying to save you 20 minutes.
Yeah, I think they're holding back because of the whole Fox deal and everything. Maybe they're still not 100% sure what direction or how they're going to start the next direction, so they don't want to commit to something yet.
Well, I don't think they know what they're going to do with the next phase because now it's like
I think they have options on the table and they just haven't fully committed to one yet.
Right.
We also know that Guardians is being delayed because they did get James Gunn back,
right?
Because he's finishing Suicide Squad 2 or Suicide Squad reboot or whatever that's going to be, and because of that, I think that might play into the plans. Like I don't know what the case is, but yeah, they didn't give us anything. They did not give us anything post credit, so you're safe to go. That's the most we'll tell you as far as specific details. Outside of that, there's a beginning, there's a middle, and the end.
Yeah. Well, that's it. That's the end of this podcast. This is the end of this episode. We can't say anything. We can't say anything.
It's I just what you can say is pretty much regurgitating what the actors have been saying. You don't see any of it coming. You're not prepared for the kind of movie that this is. I think that this is going to be very The Last Jedi-ish, where there might be splits. There is going to be people who outright completely love this, and there's probably going to be people who just completely hate this.
Yeah.
And there's going to be different reasons for that. And it's this.
What did you think? What did you think? Just a general, your general feeling about the whole movie.
My general take is I feel that I was very prepared for the tone now that Infinity War has set. I wasn't prepared in Infinity War, right. So I feel that there was a little bit more impactful how things happen in Infinity War because I was not at all prepared for that. Also, I didn't think that Infinity War was going to lead to a second film, Endgame, because they straight up lied to us,
right,
and told us that it was a separate film and all that, and basically April Fools us. And they had to, and it worked. But because of that, I feel that myself, and I think a lot of audience members out here now are going to feel also a little more prepared.
Yeah, I think it needs a rewatch just to fully grasp what's really going on, what their intentions were with this movie. It has a different feel from
Yes.
Infinity War for sure. I think Infinity War, since you're right, we didn't see anything, any of that coming.
Yeah.
It was more shocking, at least for me. This
Yeah,
movie,
I agree.
I went into it, and as it progressed, I was kind of like, all right, well, I already knew some of these things were going to happen. Or at least like this feeling, this type of movie, it didn't feel shocking to me.
Yeah.
Not to say that it wasn't a bad movie.
Yeah, anyone listening, don't misinterpret this at all. There are shocking things in this film. So you personally might be shocked. It's that simple. Depending on who your favorite characters are, or what your style of story is, or for you, it might be completely shocking, and you're someone who's like, "This is way better than Infinity War," and I was definitely not prepared for this, and so it could be a personal situation in that. I just feel that Infinity War is more shocking because we weren't expecting it. I feel in general, this is a little less shocking because we're expecting the tone. Again, right. I don't think there's not too much guests and theories out there that were right. Actually, there was a lot of stuff that didn't go the way. So
a lot of things were kind of off actually, and for the better.
I think a lot of people, most people, are going to be surprised in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
and it's again a well done film. CGI. I gotta say this because also they showed the trailer for that. What is that? The Gemini Man with Will Smith.
Will Smith, yeah.
I'm bringing that up because of Samuel Jackson's character of Nick Fury and Captain Marvel.
Incredible. No, and I know what scene you're talking about because once I saw that character, I was like, wow, okay, they did a really good job with the CGI here.
Yes, no, it's incredible. It's incredible. That's just been a new staple now, and for the most part, Disney, so Marvel franchise, Star Wars, they did it with Princess Leia. They kind of had that technology down packed, so I think they almost look for any excuse now,
right,
to do it and to use it, and they do a great job with it. But my initial reaction, I loved it. I thought it was a great film. I think after I see it a second time, I might put it at par with Infinity War. I think for sure it makes my top 5 of the 23, 24 films.
Yeah, I think now. It's about 20 films. I think
20. No, it's 23 now, right?
23.
This is the 23rd.
Yeah,
or is this the 24th?
We gotta check that. I don't think
it's right there. It's between 22 and 24. I know that for sure.
Yeah.
And we'll see. And
all I will say, he's seen all of them. Like in 2 weeks, he saw all of them.
Yeah, Yopi's gonna have some great insight when we record the spoiler full episode, because I've been watching here and there. He redid them in theatrical order because he has a son that's only 5 years old, and obviously he hadn't seen Iron Man 1, Iron Man 2, a lot of the Captain America First Avenger. He hadn't seen a lot of that because he wasn't even born yet, and now he watched them the way the theater watched them.
The way we saw them.
Yeah, exactly. Now, a lot of people prefer to do the chronological, but he did it. No, you take it a prequel as a prequel, and kind of just understand the timelines as you go. I will say I am looking forward to Spider-Man: Far From Home, and I will say that because they didn't even show in my theater the trailer for that in this one.
No, they didn't. They should have, but no, they
but
didn't.
I think that will have a post credit, and I hope that will give us a sense of the direction to go in, as well as the film itself. I'm not giving anything away. We already know there's a Spider-Man Far From Home movie coming, and like we've talked about before, don't know if that's a prequel, if that's a post, if that's whatever. No clue right now. And the good thing is even more clueless than I was before. Exactly.
Well, so there's one thing I can't talk about it in this, but in the spoiler
after we're done recording, I know we'll say.
Actually, when we're done recording, I'm going to talk to you about it because there's one thing that I don't know what they're going to do with what happened. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. But overall, I kind of have the same sense that you have. I don't know if it's gonna crack my top 5 or 6. I would have to do a rewatch.
Yeah.
Watching it initially, like I did with Infinity War. Infinity War, I saw it, and I'm like, okay, this is top 4 or 5 instantly. Yeah. Even top 3. But this movie didn't give me that feeling. Like it's still good. It's I'm satisfied with the 11 years that the MCU set up, and it's a great ending for it. But I don't feel like it's one of the top ones yet. I think it deserves a second rewatch.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't feel at all disappointed by it. I personally was very content, very happy, like you said, of how they wrapped up this saga of it. This first big giant leap for what's going to probably be 100 years and beyond of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But I will also say that as an individual film, I personally, right now, after the first watch, rank Infinity War above it. I probably still have, as an individual film, Civil War is probably still above it. So, yeah, as an individual film, as a part of a series, it was not disappointing. You know, it's almost
No.
like, you know, you watch Breaking Bad. You know what I mean? Like, yes, the final episode may not have been your favorite episode, but it was still a good series finale. You know, which could happen with Game of Thrones. I'll be honest, it's the same.
It could.
Similar.
I hope
There's
it doesn't. I hope.
I hope it doesn't. I think everyone's hoping we're going to talk about it Sunday night. That'll be our next review. Hopefully, you're hearing this before then.
Yeah.
I have a feeling this episode will be my favorite episode, or the one right after. But I'm hoping that at least one episode from this final season is my favorite episode. But it's the same thing with this series of films. There's not a single movie I hate. I think Yo Peace and M.S.K. both have a couple each that they just outright wish weren't even made, and M.S.K. counts as fan films. I don't hate any of them. I definitely like others more than others, though.
Yeah, I mean, I think this one is definitely, like you said earlier, it's gonna be exactly like The Last Jedi. Either people are really gonna hate it or love it. I think a lot of the Marvel hardcore fans, the MCU fans that stuck through the 11 years, are gonna be satisfied. They might not think it's the best one, but they're gonna be pretty satisfied as the way it ends.
I think part of what's gonna happen is that a lot of Marvel fans, they're not like total drama, credits, casting, production, film fans. You know what I mean? They're just like, they're either Marvel fans because they've read the comic books their whole life, so they follow these characters,
or superhero
they like
fans,
these movies, or they're just superhero movie fans or whatnot. And then the issue with that is that they desperately expect and want this to be their favorite movie. And I think that's what happened with The Last Jedi, and unfortunately the same weight that's going to be carried in Star Wars come December is that they want the last one to be the best one. And don't get me wrong, that should always be your goal, but it's also, we got to acknowledge that over this 22, 23, 24, whatever film span, that they've had different styles. So depending on what your style is, if you like more of you know, the heist movie, or more of an Ant-Man, you know, heist comedy buddy cop type thing, you're an Ant-Man fan. If you're a, you know, funny you know, sitcom like Guardians of the Galaxy Ragnarok, then that's going to be on your favorite tier.
Or a spy,
if you're
spy movie,
the spy,
like
exactly, Winter Soldier, Civil War, you know what I mean? Like so depending on what your style of film is, and you got to understand that Infinity War and Endgame are both films that are combining. I mean, if you read, you know, the credits, if you sit through to read them anyways, at least the first part of it, you're going to see James Gunn and all these producers' names again. You're going to see how all these directors and all these producers played a part. The Russos were the head guys, you know, that did Civil War and whatnot, but they were incorporating the styles of all the characters. Exactly. And everyone had their part to play. I will say, you got to see it. It's a must see. Depending on what things you like the most from what movies, there's some big Easter eggs that I caught in the first time, and I'll probably catch more the second and third and fourth time. There's some character callbacks. There's just a lot going on.
There's a lot of callbacks, and there's one specifically that was really really good. I mean, I can't wait to talk about it in the spoiler cast, because then we go all detailed in, but
especially when you go to the dramatic, there's a lot of great dramatic scenes in this film that might be overshadowed by some epic action scenes and some epic fights and some epic battles and some great humor. If you're a big comedy guy, maybe the laughter is taken away because there's some dramatic scenes that have laughter in it, but there's just a lot of great dramatic scenes. I think, unfortunately, like we said earlier, I think this could have definitely easily been two separate films.
I think so too. Well, some of the storylines, I think some of the storylines that were developed within the whole span of the MCU were kind of rushed, like you said, and kind of like,
I agree 100%.
They didn't give it enough attention that I thought they would give that specific storyline or to these characters. And I was like, okay, that's kind of rushed. I know why they had to do it that way, because they only have one movie left. They couldn't develop it in time. They only have 3 hours, but you know, it's kind of like, man, you guys put this like a seed in these characters like 2 or 3 movies back, and I kind of want the payoff in that, and I didn't get it, you know, and that's kind of why. And
that's what I mean. It all depends on what your
taste is,
what your taste is, and what your favorite films were, or what your most delved into storylines were. Like, I'm sorry, Game of Thrones is just current right now, so I'm going to keep using it as an example because most of our fans are current on it. And that's like, you know, if you were a bigger a Danny fan, maybe you're not liking how this season's going because they're kind of villainizing her, and you're like, I wanted her. So, I was invested in that story, and I wanted that to develop to her to the throne, and her everything. And, maybe that's not how it's going now. And, same thing if you were more of like a Sansa fan or more of an Arya fan, maybe like, oh, this, like, so it affects that, and depending on what characters you're mostly vested into,
right.
what style of film you mostly prefer. It's a bit of a mix-up. Some things they focused more on than others, and some styles were more relevant in the film than others. So a personal taste is going to be drastically affected. I think in this film, I think that Infinity War again was such a shock and surprise that you weren't able to think of anything else other than leaving that theater in silence with 50% of all of existence
gone,
disintegrated, and not knowing what that meant or where they're going. Just like what did I just watch? And I think that completely just jumped over any, I like the Guardians of the Galaxy stuff more because it was funnier, or I like the the stuff with Wakanda more because I was super hyped off of Black Panther, or whatever. I'm a big Spider-Man fan, and I loved everything going on with him and Tony and Doctor Strange and the ship, and so no matter what you liked more, and I think it was more focus too, unfortunately, because this is a sequel. That's what it is. It's a sequel, so it's not its own film.
You have to bring in some of the stuff that you introduced in the last movie, so it's a little harder.
Exactly. So it is. Yeah. It is pretty hard, and I just think it was very big. It was very epic storyline wise, and that's why I really feel that they could have easily done another film.
I think so
two
too.
more movies.
I think the one thing they lost in this one is the balance. Like, I don't know if it was the characters that they put together. They teamed up with one another in scenes. Like, I don't know.
Yes.
I feel like Infinity Wars, they had a perfect balance with every character they teamed up with. Like,
I agree with that.
Thor and Rocket. Like, it was perfect.
I agree with that. I think that because remember, the actors and most of the people they were filming, even this one, they did the same thing. They filmed multiple versions of scenes, multiple endings, so a lot of all these actors and a lot of the writers and a lot of the show people were basically seeing this film for the first time on Monday night when they did the premiere, just like we were watching for the first time. They had no clue what ending was going to stick and what scene was going to line up with what scene, and it's just a big jigsaw puzzle for them, which shows how much great direction they received, because a lot of their acting, Captain Marvel, what's her name, Brie Larson, she filmed this before she filmed Captain Marvel,
right,
because of all the CGI work to do and everything. So she had like no character development and no interaction in the Marvel world, and kind of just like just had to feed off of
she was the rookie, like everyone worked with each other before and they just threw her in there.
So luckily she was a rookie regardless, as far as rookie to the team or whatnot, but still it's a lot of directing went into this, and a lot of actors trusting their directors went into this. And like you were saying earlier, I think that when they were picking what pairings they were going to stick with and who was going to ash out at the end of Infinity War, then now that's what they were sticking with for Endgame. And I think maybe some of their pairings, or maybe they're like, maybe we should have kept this character from Infinity War instead, because this would have paired better with this character that survived. And I agree with that. And in there's certain aspects, this is hard because we're not spoiling this, and I'm not going to spoil this. It's not going to happen. I'm not going to slip. But there's certain aspects to the story that they kind of didn't have a choice, because if not, it wouldn't make sense.
Right.
To the story. And then, unfortunately, the characters you have to watch interact with one another suffered for that. And but it's like a lot of no choices situations were made and put in front of them for this film. Yeah. So
I do really enjoy one specific team up, and it when it happened, I was excited for it and kind of like, okay, I know what they're gonna go with here, and I think it's gonna be pretty cool. But I'll speak of that. I'll talk about that more on the
all we can push is if you're listening to this, you might have just seen it, or you haven't seen it, you're about to see it. I hope it's more for people who are going to see it Saturday or Sunday or Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Next weekend, we should be hopefully spitting out a spoiler full episode, and I hope that you sit down and you watch this movie and try to appreciate what we're telling you. Like look into the moments. Some of the moments are small, but pay attention to them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard. You might have to go to the bathroom or whatnot.
Yeah.
So, 2 viewings if possible. I made it. I don't know how, but I did it. I didn't have
so
to
did
get
I.
up.
So did I.
I think the adrenaline, once the movie started, my adrenaline was kicking so much that my body was like, no, total shutdown. I don't think I saw anybody in the theater get up to go to the bathroom. So everyone made it. And that's even after post credits. But I will say that try to appreciate the moments when they're small.
Yeah, and they're very subtle too. The most impactful ones are subtle, and it's like, okay, they built up to this. If you really think about it, they really did build up to specific moments. So they're very.
They did.
It pays off.
They did, and I think that maybe not for, at least for me, it didn't. But I'm pretty sure for a lot of people, this might happen. They did give away too much in some of the trailers, and there were moments. I think the movie's much bigger than anything you saw in the trailers.
Right.
The trailers really didn't give away, much, but they gave away enough that certain scenes and moments I think were a little less impactful and maybe kind of mentally prepared you for things that did unfold.
Yeah.
But outside of that, it's a must see. I think
of course.
definitely by second viewing, everyone's going to enjoy it. This movie's already made a ton of money. It's going to make a ton of money. I didn't find it disappointing at all. I totally recommend it being seen. This is something that's, I'm going to give more information about it. We do have a con in August, and our panel will be about all of this, how this all wrapped up. By then, it's in August, so we would have already also had Spider-Man Far From Home. So we'll also kind of hopefully get an idea as to what direction they're going into next. And, some Captain Marvel stuff, but, it's a shorter panel. But, I think a lot of that's going to be affected. I think a lot of people are going to see this film multiple times over the next couple of months.
I think they should. I really do think after the second or third viewing, we'll probably, even us, even that we enjoyed it, I think we'll appreciate it even more once we get that second viewing. It's just the initial reaction. It's not the same as Infinity War. And I guess that's unfair.
Yes.
But... I think after the second viewing, I think we will see other things that, we enjoyed more after the second view.
Yeah. There's things I'll pay attention to more. I
right.
mean, there's just some big epic scenes in this film, and it's hard, and certain things will catch your eye more than others. And that's like when you watch, any film or any battle scene or any fight when it's multiple characters involved, that your eye kind of wanders into another direction. And there's certain scenes that I kind of glimpsed and that I'll focus more on a second and third viewing. There are even scenes that I probably at home, rewind and watch just that 5 seconds or 20 seconds again, just to get, more of a kick out of it. But I think that I felt it was a good film. Yeah. I don't think, I think most people are going to be very disappointed. As a movie fan, putting on just my film movie fan hat on, it's a good, solid film. As a Marvel fan, specifically in this saga, in this series, so it's almost like you're watching a television series. That's basically what this is built up to. Right. It's a 20-something episode season. That it's not the strongest.
It's not the strongest film. It's not the
strongest film, but that's again because it's following. It's following Infinity War, and
which
again,
is
the tone.
top 3. Infinity War, no matter what list, I think it's top 3 or 4. So.
No, I mean straight up, it's 3 hours of movie. It's 3 hours of Marvel. It's 3 hours of great CGI. Epic fight scenes,
the acting
great
is good.
Dialogue,
the acting's great,
comedy. So there's no way you could take away from it and say, oh, this was a bad movie. Like anybody who says that, you're full of it. You're crazy. I mean, you might hate it because you didn't like the direction they went into the story. You might not like
certain
what
parts
happened with certain characters
parts,
or how certain characters were portrayed this time around. Like that could be your angle. But if you try to say no, this is just a bad movie, no, it's not.
It's not.
There's no way. No. There's no way it's a bad movie. It's not happening. It's just no.
Yeah, it's still very entertaining movie. Yeah. It closes out the 11 years that Marvel has set up. So exactly. I mean, I think fans are going to appreciate it, and and the way it closes it out, I think they'll really, really enjoy it.
Yes, go in there wanting to enjoy yourself. I mean, it's that simple. There's no other way I could say it. If you go in there critical, unless you're a critic and you're a viewer and you own,
unless that's
and again,
your job.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, no, but even if it is your job, if you're going to review this as an actual film, you're crazy to give it a garbage review. I mean, sorry, it is your credibility is going to go out the window.
Yeah, I think it's already certified fresh. Like it's like 94%.
Yeah, it has to be. It has to be. It's a good movie. I'm just saying that there might be reasons that you don't prefer it, but to say it's a straight up bad movie, no, it's this. You're not about to watch a bad movie.
Well, that's a good idea. We should do worst movies episode. I think that should be an upcoming.
Oh,
episode.
we can do that. You want to listen to me talk about Fast and Furious franchise for an hour? No problem.
Bad idea. We're not gonna do that. Never mind.
You want me to do that for an hour? No problem. No, I'm kidding.
But yeah,
no, there's some bad movies, and not many. I'm such a movie fan. It's hard for me to like just really hate a movie, and I have a couple, and it's not many. So
yeah,
when it's bad, it's bad.
But
then again, I totally
so
avoid.
I don't think this should be in anyone's list of bad movies. So
no,
everyone's gonna enjoy it.
Yes, this is so. Yeah, I mean, we don't want to talk too long because we're gonna start saying it right now. I think
it's
M.S.K.
hard,
is
man.
pretty
I'm
safe from
surprised
having
we
to
got
edit
to
anything
25
out.
minutes right now. I'm surprised we're at 25 minutes without saying anything about the movie.
Yeah, I'm amazed. I'm pretty amazed. So yeah, don't block us. Don't don't mute us. Don't remove us from your feed.
Yeah.
Don't you're good. This is good. This is spoiler free. It's just the initial reaction. Hopefully, we helped you have a little bit of insight if you haven't seen it yet to go in with a more open, clearer mind of things. And if you got a babysitter, need to get going, I hope I saved you about a good 15, 20 minutes to beat the traffic or go to the bathroom instead of sweating it out.
Oh, Jesus.
Sweating out that large soda you knew you shouldn't have bought.
But yeah, I'm gonna do the one thing that Yopis usually does, and just if you guys know where to find us, fanaticallycorrect.com. You could download our episodes and iTunes, Google Music, and Spotify.
There you go. Yeah, and Yo Peace will be back with us on the next airing. I think will be the Game of Thrones Sunday night review, which will probably be out Monday, Tuesday. Yeah. He'll be back with us for that, and he'll definitely be back with us for the episode of All Out theories and what we liked and the parts we liked. Spoiler full Endgame episode. So all of you who want to get your spoilers right away. Because there's a lot of people out there, a lot of people who see it right away and they want to talk about it. That's what we do. Everyone, for the most people, you watch a movie and what do you do right after? And it was hard because we been sitting there like, okay, we're gonna talk. That's the good thing about staying for the credits. Talk now,
right?
Because you don't want to talk in the hallways. Try to be respectful, man. This I
gotta tell you a story. When we got there, showings were already leaving. My showing started at 8:45.
Yeah, me too.
So some of the earlier showings were already leaving. People were leaving. And I hear people talking about it, and I'm hearing names, and I covered my ears. I covered my ears and did the whole la 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 thing that you always do. I did that in the middle of the hallway because I did not want to hear a damn thing about the movie.
Yeah, we were actually sitting in a little cafeteria just out Vicky Bakery over here in the South Florida area. It's got great stuff. Yeah, that was called Pan con Bistec, which is a steak sandwich. And we were unfortunately outside because they closed early. They're crazy. Plug for Vicky's yeah, but they're crazy now. But it's great stuff. But I was just saying they're crazy because we got a Cuban coffee, to stay awake. For sure, you want to be wired. But they close at 7, so we had to eat outside because our showing was at 8. And we're like, they're crazy, man. I'll be open till 1 in the morning because this theater is gonna be packed next door, and everyone's gonna want coffee. Yeah. You know what I mean? Especially Cuban coffee, which really wakes you up. So, but yeah, we were sitting on the side, and unfortunately, the parking lot was packed. So yeah, there was people walking past us. We saw the right away. Once I saw the Marvel shirts, I'm like, humming to myself because I know, they talk about the movie. That's it's what everyone does. It's hard, man. You try to hold it back, and that's why we're kind of gonna push out a spoiler-full episode on the quick side because once your piece is caught up and we all get a second viewing under our belts, and we're gonna share everything there is to share, and you share your thoughts and opinions or buy into our explanations or not and disagree, but however it is, we're your buddies, we're fans, we're geeks and nerds just like you, and that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna talk it out with you. So wrap it up. This Omega saying peace.
M.S.K. Peace out.
And there you have it, folks. This has been Fanatically Correct. Until next time, you crazy kids. Signing off.
No, you don't, because guys.
Oh God, I have to edit that out.